Yeah, today we're going to speak about the Parasha Vayetze, which means and he went forth, speaking about Yaakov. And this question is to know if we are Yaakov. I mean spiritually, if we look like Yaakov. So we try to understand through the Parasha we study what is the impact in our life. This is the purpose of the Torah. The Torah is there to help us to renew our mind. Paul tells us in Romans 12 verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. How can we be transformed? How can we renew our mind? It is not possible to enter into the mind of somebody and to remove. Our mind has assimilated since our youth all kind of stuff, from the family, from friends, from the school, from what we think, and all these things are not in harmony with the Torah. So we need to remove it. In order to remove it, we need to put something in place. So we enter the Torah in our mind in order to renew it, to remove all the garbage we have put inside. And this is a long process which will have effect on our life. It will transform us, it will change us. It will make us more and more in the image of our Master, Yahushua HaMashiach. And this is the purpose of our life. It is to become like He is, so that when He comes, we will see Him as He is, and we will be transformed in His likeness. So Yaakov is a shadow of all this. Yaakov, if we remember, his name is not glorious. His name is somebody who cheat others, supplanter. In fact, he abused his brother Esau. And in spite of the call who was in his life, he did it his own ways. So I will not go back to this parasha. Suffice to say that he took everything by force, not by trusting Jehovah. Now, the consequence of that, because he followed the advice of his mother, he has to run away from the place of his father, Isaac, and for that he will go to one of his relatives in the pagan world. He will go to Laban. So this is very interesting, because if we look at it, we see that the call, the high call, the divine call is on Yaakov. But Yaakov was not the man Jehovah wanted him to be. He had to go through a process, and this process will go 20 years. 20 years of his life until he become Israel. 20 years. We just make a pause to think about that. How long have we been walking in Yeshua? 5 years? 10 years? 15 years? 19 years? So this is the question. If it took 20 years for Yaakov to become Israel, how long will it take for us? Do you think it will take lesser? I don't think so. I can speak of my own experience. Because the processes of renewing the mind will take a long time. We need to go through some situation in life to accept the situation in order to be renewed. Now, if you want to have the details about this, what I'm speaking, you will have to read the parasha I wrote, because there is a lot of information in it, with an explanation about errors in translation. We do not reveal the true context and what the deepest meaning is behind the letter. I show parallel between the life of Yaakov and the life of Yeshua, I show that there are things we need to know in order to understand what the Torah wants us to see. So I encourage you to read the parasha and to see for your own, to meditate on all these details. So now we start to speak about the parasha and give some details. Now we're in the second part of the Parasha Vayetze, as I have said, which means, and he went forth. So Yaakov is now running away before Eliphaz, the son of Esau, who was sent by his father to kill him. But if we go into the book of Yasher, we will learn, as you can read in the parasha, that Eliphaz was touched by Yaakov's supplication and do not kill him. But he took away everything he had, so that now Yaakov goes empty-handed to his uncle Laban, and we will see the consequence of that, because everything we do in our life has a consequence. So don't think that there is a coincidence or hazard. There is no coincidence, no hazard. Everything what happened in our life has a purpose, and this purpose is good. Is good. Even when we don't understand, we have to trust Elohim for our life. For it is written that all things work for good for those who love Elohim. So Yaakov had no time to think about that. He was in the trouble of his life. He has to go through his trials, and there is no way back, because the way back is to be killed by his brother Esau. So he goes and he trusts to find the right way. He had an obligation, is to marry somebody from his kindred. So interesting is, as we have seen with Isaac, that he goes to his relatives who are pagans, in order to marry. So now on the way, he's running away, now on the way, before he comes to Laban, before he goes through his trial. It is in the first year of his travel, he lay down to sleep. He was tired from all what happened to him with this encounter with Eliphaz. He lay down, and if you look in the parasha, I explain why we don't understand the text when we see that Yaakov took a stone and put his head on it. I mean, if you have tried to put the head on your stone to sleep as a pillow, you know, you will see it's not very comfortable. So that's not the good thing. Myself, I will not put a stone to put my head. It's too hard for me. So there is a deeper meaning behind. Okay? So you will have to read the parasha to discover that. And we see that during this night, he saw in a vision a ladder going from the earth to the heavens. And we see the messenger, the Melakim, translated as the angels, which is a very poor translation, going up and down. If we think just a short moment, we know that the Melakim, the messenger, the angels, are in the heavens. So it should have been written that this messenger came down and up, but it's written they came up and down. So in Hebrew, the earth is considered as the Malchut, which is the kingdom. So the heaven is connected to the earth with this ladder, and we know that in this parasha we see it is written that Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, Jehovah, stand on the top of the ladder. So this is very interesting, because we know that Yeshua will use the same passage to explain something. Suffice to say for now that this ladder shows us clearly that the way to Elohim is always open. And now much more for us, because it is through Yeshua that we reach the heavens, the throne of our Father, Jehovah Tsebaot. So now, Jehovah, before anything, before Yaakov is transformed, is changed. Jehovah confirmed the promise he did to Abraham and Isaac. And this is very interesting. Okay, I want to look at it if I can find it, and I will give you a say. Here is a promise in the first chapter of this parasha, in the chapter 28 from Bereshit or Genesis, and verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the messenger of Elohim, the angel, ascending and descending. And behold, Jehovah stood above it and said, I am Jehovah, Elohim of Abraham thy father, the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereon you lies, to you will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west and the east, to the north and the south. And in thee and thy seed shall all the family of the earth be blessed. The word is venevrichu, which means grafted in. On this we'll speak another time. Paul make a midrash, explain something about this verse in another book. We will speak that another time. What I want to say here is that the call may be on us, but we will have to go through the process of life in order to reach this call. The call do not come by accident. The call is there since our birth, even before. But when we come the time where this call become active in our life, we will recognize it, but we are not yet ready for the call. We have to go through the process of refining. This means to remove every worldly things from us, carnal attitude. This must be removed. And it is a painful and long process. As I said before, for Yaakov it took 20 years. So don't be discouraged if you see that it seems you don't move forward and you are always falling into problems, trials, challenge. Just praise Elohim for that. Abba Yehovah, I thank you that you put me in the situation, because I know I will come out through Mashiach Yeshua as a victorious person. So this is an encouragement. When we read this parasha, like all the parasha, there's something very important to teach us, to understand what is going on in our life, in our own life. Don't look in the eyes of your brother, don't look in the eyes of your sister, look on your own life. We need to look in our own life to understand what Elohim wants us to remove. And if we don't, this do not change the love of Elohim for us. We just stay, we don't move forward. And we can stay for 20 years there until we are ready to change. So I hope you will not stay 20 years in a place and say, okay, I stay there, because you will miss the call. So we need to move, and we will see in the parasha that Yaakov went through his different situation. We see at the end of this story that Yaakov was cheated 10 times by Laban. 10 times. Cheated. This means abuse. Abuse. Why does a loving Elohim, a loving Father, let a wicked man, an idolater, cheat Yaakov? You see. But it's the same with you, with me, with all the believers who want to enter the call. They will have to go through this way. They will have to see that people are called unrighteous, who are called wicked, will abuse us, will cheat us for a purpose. This purpose is to see that we cannot change our life. It is Elohim who change our life. So this parasha is, again, go into the parasha, read the text, take time to study, to scrutinize, and understand that what happened to Yaakov. It happened to you for a purpose, for the best of your life, for the high call you have in Mashiach Yahushua. And if you decide to do it, then you will see. You will come out as victorious person.